underway. South Carolina in the darker uniforms. Chloe Kitts gets it out to Paopao, who has been just, you think, the best transfer get this year.
I think the best transfer out of the portal, no question. And look at Cardoso, goes right to a counter against the man-to-man defense of East Carolina. Even though they play a lot of matchup, Pam, we were told they were going to play some man today.
Yes, Cardoso so hard. As you take a look at the starting five for East Carolina, Sania Johnson, unfortunately not available for the rest of the year after she fractured her fibula in their last game. So My Joyner in the starting lineup. Shot clock is dwindling for the Pirates. Joyner got it right at the buzzer.
Well, you're going to have those kind of shots go down if you're going to upset the #1 team in the country. Joyner, the lefty.
Sophomore from Farmville, North Carolina. Not far from Greenville as you take a look at what has become a familiar starting five. Paopao, the impact transfer from Oregon. Kitts tried to force it inside. East Carolina relies a lot on their transition offense. There's McNeal, puts up the floater, nothing doing, and nobody rebounds the basketball as well as South Carolina.
No, and you have to make a decision whether you go to the glass or you get back in transition. And because of this right here, you got to get back in transition. That is Te-Hina Paopao, one of the best three-point shooters in the country, Pam.
That was telegraphed. Paopao has Kitts to her right. Found her with a beautiful bounce pass and gets there most often for this team and averaged 1.5 points per game last year. And that's an imposing figure, isn't it? At 6'7". Came out to contest the shot by Talia Weish, which was off. Paopao has missed 2 in a row. Alert the media. She usually doesn't do that.
She's been really good. I do think she's the best transfer out of the portal this season. She's a high-level guard with elite-level thinking. She defends the way Dawn Staley needs her to defend, but most importantly, she can manage the team along with Raven Johnson.
As Dawn Staley said that she's never had a player like Paopao, which is unbelievable considering the talent.
And you got to have good pressure on the ball, otherwise the vision to the rim is too easy.
Fulwiley in the game now. Raven Johnson among those on the court. Ashlyn Watkins taking it. And that's a foul.
And then watch right here, there's a foul called on Cardoso for going over the back. So you got to be physical with her, Pam. And you see the leverage that East Carolina is using.
And that was the game plan for head coach Kim McNeal to try to put pressure on the ball. My Joyner.
She goes to her offhand and scores over her left shoulder.
Cardoso got the ball deep this time. They are making her work, though, for everything.
You have to make Cardoso make a post move. You cannot let her catch a lob or score on a layup. Oh, and Dennis goes down with the knee.
Oh, no. Micah Dennis holding her right knee.
Why doesn't basketball have a rule where you can play in the non-conference before you play conference play, and if you get hurt, not lose your eligibility? Well, I'd like to see that rule.
Yeah,
can you start petitioning for that, Pam?
Oh, no, they always listen to me.
Yeah, they do.
Dennis has played 10 games, which is about a third of their schedule for East Carolina. And if we have an update on Micah, we will certainly get it to you. Her first point to the team. Let's keep it close in the first quarter, and so far so good.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a good look at Coach McNeal. In her 5th year, was the American Conference Coach of the Year. And it's just 6'6" for this South Carolina team that averages 93 points per game, 5th best in the nation. And East Carolina known for its defense. My goodness, that's 3 now on Talia Weish.
A lot of pressure on your back row. You have to have better ball pressure, hands high on the catch, because they don't have the same depth. So it needs to be a little more physical for them.
So Wyatt heads to the bench with 3 fouls. Watkins misses the free throw, and she's played in all 10 games, but is averaging less than a point per game, so she's not gotten a lot of action. The point guard is out, so the offense is bound to look a little disjointed. There's a miss for Joyner. Inside, nice look. Watkins hangs with it.
Yeah, like she gets off her feet quickly. She misses it, but gets her own rebound off her feet quickly.
shot off the mark, and then a block.
Her versatility and how she can guard their ball screen action on the perimeter. Brings great length, allows Dawn Staley to mix it up. I think she's the best post perimeter defender they've ever had.
Wow, that's saying something.
Yeah.
Coach McNeal didn't want to use it a whole lot, but a good switch to it. Bucket good for Feagin.
The patience and poise, though. I mean, I like the switch by Kim McNeal going back to the matchup. He got some foul trouble.
Shot clock again into single digits. McNeal, that's a nifty move. Offensive board.
Where you got to shoot free throws better.
31% from the floor in this first quarter.
Boy, great job by Joyner defensively. She's done a little bit of everything in this first quarter.
Now South Carolina off to the races. Johnson behind everybody, but it's taken and missed.
See how good of a job East Carolina has done when they've set their defense. South Carolina has been able to score.
January 7th at 1 Eastern, South Carolina, Mississippi State. Just 13 points, but giving up only 8 to East Carolina, just 2 in the last 4.5 minutes.
And South Carolina averages 92.5 points a game, which is 5th in the nation.
Let's see if the Pirates can get a bucket. Contact and an offensive.
Did she lower her shoulder?
I don't know.
Official thought so.
And then another.
And she works. She's got great character. Her kids work hard. And she's, in 5 years, she's built something here. But last year she was coach of the year in this league, and it's a really good league with really good coaches.
8 fouls committed by East Carolina in that first quarter, as many as they had points, and just 10 points against North Carolina in the first quarter. This is the second fewest points, therefore, that South Carolina has scored in a game this season. Kits, some contact, nothing called that time.
Yeah, that's a good no call.
East Carolina missed 10 of its last 11 shots to end what had been a close game in the first quarter. That floater is off the mark. They did lose their point guard, Micah Dennis, halfway through the first quarter, and since then their offense really struggled.
Well, and Danae McNeal, who scores just shy of 20 points a game, is 0 for 7. See, I don't think that's the right shot. And here's a breakaway. Shot selection for South Carolina has not been great in this start of this first half.
Joyner with 8 of their 10 points. Cardoso, when she grabs it there, it's impossible.
Yes.
That is her first points of the game, averaging a double-double this season. Pardon me. They're not getting a lot of second chances. Neither team shooting the ball well. South Carolina at 25%, East at 22%.
But the uglier, the grittier, the grimier, all of that, the stink is better for ECU. Paopao, what a great leader. And, you know, I think she was playing as the best two-way point guard in the country right now.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking. So,
however, Vic Schaefer will figure it out.
Yeah, Vic has ways. That'll be one of many interesting games today. And there is a much-needed. They had gone over 2 minutes without scoring before McNeal got her first basket.
Yeah, after going 0 for 8, she finally scores. It's a good job by Kim McNeal to get her going. They got to have her offense.
No relation, by the way, between the McNeals. Paopao! Are you kidding? California.
Oh, good cut.
Not a good result. Cardoso gets yet another rebound.
You got to get on Paopao right now.
Watkins somehow
turned her when you catch the ball. Nice feed by Paopao.
Coach Staley said she's finding her identity and just loves her versatility. And as you mentioned, boy, the athleticism is off the charts. Doubled up the lead. McNeal challenging Watkins. Ball stays with the Pirates. Inbounding now with 20 seconds left on the shot clock. And another turnover. And South Carolina getting it quickly down the floor. Paopao with the chancy bounce pass that didn't work. Watkins gets up. Thought she had a clean block, but instead is called for the foul.
I mean, this is one-on-one in the open floor. McNeal knows the shot blocker's lurking. Wow, it's hard to tell from that angle. Maybe she did come across the side of her head. But you know what? East Carolina fan keeps getting to the line, can't make free throws.
That's right. That's been a major problem. McNeal at the free throw line right now. They are now 1 for 5 as a team.
First quarter, at the end of the first quarter, the East Carolina bench was given a warning by the officials, so they have been warned about their behavior. So they're not saying much over there right now.
Johnson draws in. Bobby Smith called for the foul, and Raven Johnson. ESPN2 men's college basketball doubleheader starts at 2 Eastern with Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, and Wichita State, Kansas.
From eating Christmas cookies, she said they were sharp and locked in this game where it is right now in the second quarter.
Feagin 1 out of 2.
With man-to-man coverage by Raven Johnson, who's one of your best on-ball defenders.
Bobby Smith handling the ball, and now Tatiana Weish has it. And a whistle away from...
I'm almost thinking she wanted one.
Right. Oh, wow. Impossible. That height advantage. Second foul on Mosley. Cardoso's first trip to the line today.
As the season goes on, you'll see Dawn Staley move her away from the bucket and a little bit more ball.
In the hunt for National Player of the Year. Caitlin Clark up there, won it last year.
Caitlin Clark's the front runner this year.
Another block. Bree Hall called for her first for Carolina. Pardon me, South Carolina. We had two Carolinas today. Fulwiley, who is so quick, so skilled. That move she made against Notre Dame on opening day will live in history.
And a lot of people look at this year's team and they think, wow, they look better. And I think part of that reason is because they're so much better on the offensive end. They can do more things offensively. And the players that didn't play a lot last year that are getting minutes this year are getting their opportunity, and they worked and they stuck with the process.
Cardoso into Feagin. Kamilla is averaging over 2 assists per game. Feagin with back-to-back buckets. This game was tied up at 6 apiece when starting point guard Micah Dennis went out with an apparent knee injury midway through the first quarter. South Carolina, Talia Weish in foul trouble. So East Carolina much deeper into their bench. South Carolina, and here you see the 4 players averaging in double figures, and then 3 others are right on the cusp, averaging 9 points per game or more.
It's the only team in the country with 7 players averaging 9 or more points.
And Pirates break a big-time drought with that bucket by McNeal. Now a foul, playing their first year at East Carolina. They've been missing some free throws. And you see other conference games exclusively on ESPN+. The Women's Championship coverage begins March 9th. Sign up at ESPNplus.com/AAC. East Carolina picked second behind South Florida this year. March hit 1 out of 2. Her first point of the game. Fulwiley stepping back, hits, able to get the rebound, and then asked for it back. Fulwiley, second time worked out perfectly.
That's the kind of confident shooter you want to see.
Shooting better from 3 than 2 this afternoon. Forced shot by Joyner went in.
Change it up on that timeout for offensive purposes by Coach Staley.
Walker is in the game now for South Carolina, down low. Johnson off the mark. That shot is not off in time, but South Carolina takes a 30.
She has been there scoring. I mean, that's 3 starters now. You're trying to play at home against the #1 team.
Cam Ward, Deb Antonelli joining you this afternoon. From East Carolina, Cardoso just got her 6th rebound of the game. Now Paopao bringing it down for South Carolina. The first #1 ranked team to come here since UConn in 2018. Kitts with a nice assist to Cardoso.
The matchups that they like off that switching man-to-man defense, and they got to score it better.
Mosley with the miss. Now Raven Johnson bringing it up.
Bree Hall's been patient about her own offensive game today.
Maybe too patient.
And Lisa Boyer sitting to Dawn Staley's right is the post coach. Jolette Law, the other, and of course she wanted to give Fred a game back at Bowling Green. I'm sure he probably enjoyed it until the ball was tipped.
Yeah, yes.
Then they made their first 10 shots.
Up to a great start in that one. Kitts.
The NCAA tournament.
Kitts getting it up now to Paopao. All the way across court. All got hit on the hand.
I've known Kim for a long time, and I know what she's all about. And she's done a magnificent job here building character and family. She's really proud of what they've done. And today might not be symbolic of it based on playing the #1 team. But
part of it is coming out, she said, trying to get better every day. She knew that this would be, to say the least, a very difficult game. How about in the fall? There's a nice shot. Kaya Miller, their freshman team GPA was 3.63.
That's impressive.
Only 2 players did not have a 3.0 GPA.
Nice.
And there's that combination you talked about. East Carolina. Shot clock into single digits. That was a walk. And Dawn Staley did clap hands with Johnson as she went out. But Fulwiley now is in for the Gamecocks. Kitts. Paopao. And the second 3 she's missed. Great off.
I'm not worried about Bree Hall scoring because I think it's there every day. I think she's consistent, but she's so solid about how she delivers.
Fulwiley. Karina Gordon, a true freshman out of Southern 9 days ago. A little bit of pressure after the made free throws. Oh, the fans go crazy.
Played 3 minutes, Fulwiley, and she had made 2 defensive errors in transition. And Coach Staley put her on the bench, and then after that, she has played much better defense.
She has been tremendous.
There is no better motivator than the bench.
Yes. Not playing. There's Fulwiley. Little step back. Cardoso using 6'7"
to break down the bigs. I love to talk about the guards. You go with Sedona Prince at TCU. They're all 6'6", 6'7".
In this quarter.
Well, she's back.
That's good news to have Amaya Jordan back, who could not start the third quarter for what looked like leg cramps. Beautiful. Cardoso was double teamed.
Nothing comes easy against South Carolina. They contest, challenge.
Watkins gets the rebound. Tessa Johnson, number 5, one of their freshmen. Wide open look. Buried.
And that's former Harlem Globetrotter, Jolette Law.
Fulwiley picked up the foul.
Of course, Dawn Staley is the only person to win the Naismith.
The Detroit Lions are really good, taking on the Cowboys. New Year's Day, college football semis. ESPN, ESPN Deportes, ESPN Plus, ESPN everything coming up. Interrupting our...
You know, we asked Kim McNeal how this game came together, because it's interesting that East Carolina would take on Kim, coached there with Joanne Boyle as an assistant with her husband Corey. And she's always admired Dawn, even had a similar hairstyle. You know, the hairstyle that was, you know, one side was half, the other side was longer. Everybody knows the hairstyle I'm talking about, Dawn Staley in the 90s.
That's dedication.
She wore her hairstyle.
24 in South Carolina. For South Carolina, freshman Sania Feagin in the game now. Watkins just took a half a second to collect herself. Second time worked out. Watkins now with 8 points. Cardoso leading everyone with 12. Why not? White's thought about it, put it up, and Watkins gets another rebound. East Carolina's missed 9 of its last 10 shots. Fulwiley with style.
That might make up for it, because Dawn's now got a smile on her face.
The freshman with the shot, and now the three on the other end. More bodies on the floor, another tie-up, possession arrow towards the Pirates.
Then she makes this miraculous play. Then she comes down and makes a tough decision, right? Watch this flip off the glass. Shows a look to the post, flips it off glass high. She's done that a million times playing against the guys. This is how you get your shot off against the boys. Throw it up there high off the rim, off the glass.
Yeah, you're right, that fantastic look over to Feagin. And then she finished, and then, you know, just ran up the court like it was nothing. Just another shot. She's special.
She's hoping we're going to forget the one before that.
Yes, I think that's the way to do it. 10 Division I twins, and there you see them in all of women's basketball, not necessarily teammates. We're getting one of the Cavenders back.
Yes, we are. TCU is an up-and-coming program in the Big 12. Strictly economics.
Yeah, we had a great year for Miami. Katie Meyer's team getting all the way to the Elite 8 last season. Exciting.
Charisma Osborne on my podcast this week, Nothing But Net. And she talked about playing against Juju Watkins. They've never guarded each other. They've never played.
Yeah, that one in Paris had everything. Fancy dribble, the look away, and then the fantastic finish.
They have the most need for improvement is the free throw line. Okay, they got to shoot it much better than that. I went back and looked at what they did in there, but they got to shoot it better.
Just 63% from the line in this game.
That's not good enough when you move into conference play.
And they will do that. They open up with Florida on January the 4th. Their first SEC game, the premier game on their schedule in conference, January 25th at LSU. A lot of contact.
Doesn't count.
Not in women's basketball this year.
That line on the women's
free throw line. She is now 1 for 3, 1 for 4. Feagin gets the rebound out there with Raven Johnson. Watkins underneath was alone for a second or two, but they couldn't get it to her in time. Now she wants it. Not hit. Watkins hits her first free throw. Talia over on the bench after fouling out. Remember, Cardoso not in the game, so that big 6'7" presence isn't underneath. Watkins. Coming up next on ESPN, and Wichita State coming up today.
Steve Forbes has a team that I think will challenge for the ACC crown this year. A lot of people think I'm out of my mind saying that, but Efton Reed got eligible, and he gives them a 7-foot presence at the rim. I think they'll have something to say about who wins the league.
All right, we'll see. Wake Forest coming up next. Dawn Staley getting some of her bench players extended time. That is a monstrous block, and that traveled quite a bit.
I mean, what? Wow. This is what I call 3-level defense. Good ball pressure, and if you get beat, don't foul, because you got help on the backside.
Johnson comes away with it. South Carolina now with 7 blocks on the game. And coast to coast, South Carolina leading the country, averaging just under 10 blocks per game. Just seven so far in this one. That's a push.
Hard, you knock somebody down, pick them up. That's it. No words need to be spoken. And you know, we're going to compete hard, but we're going to stick to our business and keep our focus where it needs to be.
Feagin inside to Walker. Her turn for South Carolina, who are about to take their 29th, just 42%. South Carolina also struggling. Kits with the rebound.
Beds and internet and everything else. They don't ride like the old trailways like we used to. Oh, I wonder if Coach Mulkey would like to take a look at it.
It's got the sparkles.
Had the same colors.
You mentioned they will play at Sparkly Baton Rouge, an ESPN game, January, and then February 11th, that's a Sunday afternoon on ESPN, home to UConn, and that game's already sold out.
That's always big.
UConn with the game against Mark.
I think East Carolina is going to have to, just get tighter with their sets, right? Details inside of what they have. They got to find better shots.
Hit some free throws.
Maybe that.
But this is the biggest test a team can get right now, is taking on South Carolina.
I will say, since Coach McNeal called that timeout in the beginning of the third quarter, they have played harder. They do turn the ball over a little bit. But, East Carolina came into the game #1 in the country in turnovers. They forced 28 a game. Well, you knew South Carolina wasn't going to turn it over that much. Oh, there's a block of that move that Fulwiley likes.
Fulwiley at the free throw line. Coming up next, taking on Mississippi State. Then LSU is at Ole Miss. In South Bend, it's North Carolina, Notre Dame. All that coming up. East Carolina is 3 for 30 from the floor in this half. Good tie-up today for Kamilla Cardoso. 12 points, 10 rebounds for South Carolina. Another
only 2 players on their whole roster are shooting less than 50.
Scarier. Feagin knocking on the door of double figures with 9 points. Good defense by Miller to get her hands in the lane, but it still results in a bucket for Jaw.
Jaw is helping her field goal percentage today.
She is 2 for 4, and there's a finish. And the 3 for number 3, Gordon.
Get back at it, back at it.
That's what it's all about, grinding it out as we hit the new year. East Carolina, by the way, will play at South Carolina next year. Should be a great experience for these players, these terrific fans. I think that was a foul they let go for once.
Or what I like to call a coach's assist that would count as an assist if you made the layup.
And the South Carolina Gamecocks, after a slow start, take it by the final of 70